All right, thank you so much for joining us on the 64th edition of Lunch Out Loud Ottawa. My name is Nick Batuski.
And I'm Andrew Miller.
And of course, we're the podcast that speaks to the people, places, music, and events that make this city the incredible city that it is. And before we get to our special guest, Tim Van Dyke from Lunch, Ottawa, or Lunch, why don't we check this out?
Hello, this is Lunch Harea of Harea Band. You're listening to Lunch Out Loud Ottawa, the greatest city on earth. The three songs you're about to hear from us are our new single, Smile, Where You Are, and Room for You. We hope you enjoy them, and if you do, you can find them at www.hareaband.bandcamp.com, or you could come out and see us play them live this Saturday, March 15th at Café des Cuffs. Hope to see you there, and we hope you enjoy the music.
You realize you've been trying hard to read between the lines. I've been trying hard to make you realize you've been trying hard. You can be who you want to be, see who you want to see. Take some time to set yourself free. Trying so hard, but I can't. You're too goddamn beautiful when you smile. I've been trying to say goodbye, but I can't. You're too goddamn beautiful.
All right, so that was the Harea Band with the song Smile. It's a very happy song, a very fun group to check out. So they'll be there Friday or Saturday night at the Café des Cuffs. So make sure you check them out there. Of course, his sister is Natalie Harea from Natalie's Bread Company, which is an incredible bread company out in Westboro. So awesome stuff there. Maybe Lunch can do stuff with her in the future. We don't know. Who knows?
I've heard nothing but good things.
Absolutely. And so I just want to congratulate you first for being an RGA finalist. So that's big news. The Excellence Awards, which culminates April 12th at the Congress Center, or at the Convention Center. Congress Center?
Congress Center.
Congress Center in Gatineau.
No, here in downtown Ottawa.
Where's the Congress Center?
It's the same thing. The Rideau Center. It's the old
Convention
Center.
Center.
Or are they calling it the Convention? Oh, God.
I think it's both. I think people kind of call it both names here and there.
There we go. But anyways, it's going to be a good night. Congratulations. Can you tell us a bit about the awards and the process?
Well, the organization is built around promoting bilingualism in the city on a commercial level. So we were approached and have worked with them at length over the last year just to bring ourselves up to speed in terms of all of our media materials, how we operate as a company, both here and in Gatineau, just to ensure that we've got a good, strong bilingual presence. So I guess as a result, they've taken a shine to the company, and they awarded. Well, we're as finalists. I think there's 5 different categories. We're a finalist in 2 categories, in fact.
Oh, that's good.
And it's been like a couple months of just interviewing processes with their board and third-party committees just to, I guess, vet the recipients. So yeah, we'll see.
How is it narrowed down? How many finalists are there? Do you know?
I think it's also based on the year, right? It's an annual event. So I think in the 2 categories we're in, there are now 3 and 4 finalists respectively. It's a real Oscars type experience as well. You show up for the gala, and we don't know who the winner is until the event. So,
so you've been practicing your surprise look.
Exactly. if that be the case, and or my
disappointed.
Yeah. Pleasantly disappointed, but congratulations to everyone else.
Will the selfie be retweeted more than the one from the Oscars?
Well, we'll see. We'll see who gets the final invite to the table. But yeah, it should be a good time.
So speaking about Gatineau and working with them, congratulations! The new store or the new shop is Tim's open up in Gatineau. How has the response been?
The response has been great. Yeah. No, it's what's interesting is that it's in another public works building, as we inhabit a couple now, and so we see, in fact, quite a few of our clients from the Ottawa side. Over the last year, there's been quite a bit of shuffling within. I guess federal government real estate, their office spaces. So, for instance, they're amazing. We're sitting at our Bank Street location right now. Elections Canada, which has since moved to the Quebec side, we basically just shifted the whole client base. Yeah. So we've already got them frequenting the Gatineau location.
Well, that certainly works out in your favor.
It works out perfectly.
Tim Hortons is not too happy with you, either.
I disagree. And what's even more amazing now is to really take the time and concentrate on why Tim Hortons is such a successful Canadian brand. I mean, we're staring at them. And we have a very different product, especially for the lunch hour. Yeah. But roll out the rim, I guess, just happened, and my God, that's a tidal wave of civil servants at the end of the day. So it's pretty impressive.
It's about the only time I'll ever go to Tim Hortons is during the roll up the rim.
Yeah, so it brings about.
Who doesn't like free stuff, right?
But anyways, and have you noticed any differences between the taste of Gatineau and the taste of Ottawa yet? Are you ordering more poulet in Gatineau as opposed to whale's bone fish and products here?
Really not yet, and it's interesting. I mean, we've always been pretty confident on our core breakdown of ingredients, of variety that we offer. So we haven't seen too many trends come about yet. It's been pretty consistent. We ran a Reuben special, so the brisket special last week, which was really well received. Of course, we ran it at all our locations. So I think it'll take a bit more time. Again, the reality is that it's virtually the same client base. Okay. Though that river's between us, and I have the luxury of suggesting that we're interprovincial now. At the end of the day, it's fundamentally the same crowd. So we're just happy to be over there. Great views of downtown Ottawa, in fact.
Oh, that's good.
Absolutely, and so we're approaching the 6-year mark for lunch.
Yes.
Wow, 6 years.
www.thinklunch.ca.
Yes.
We'll talk about that later. That's I love that story from Creative Mornings, where we first met.
Right.
I was blown away by that speech. It was an awesome one.
Thanks, Nick. I appreciate it.
That was a lot of fun.
It was very. If I'll just say, it was very daunting. I mean, I don't do a lot of public speaking, so.
And you were perfect.
Well,
so
thanks. I
that's
appreciate
what I said. It was really good. Would have never showed. Have you noticed this change in Ottawa's lunch habits or style within the past 6 years? Has there been a major a change in health, diet?
Oh, for sure. It's amazing because I feel like when we first opened into April 2008, that we were really out there as an individual sort of concept, a real push on the fresh and local, and immediately, and we knew that this was coming. I mean, Ottawa's always a bit lag phase, and just based on the size of the city, I think, at the end of the day. But immediately that new wave, this new curve of people's understanding of eating better has hit. The demand has hit. So we've seen a lot of new competitors, new businesses arrive. I've always welcomed it because really what it does is it just brings more. It brings, especially the lunch hour, people's habits. It puts it in a better light. Everyone is expecting better now. Mm-hmm. So, and we saw it last year with the food trucks and carts. We've got that fantastic Korean cart across the road from where we're sitting right now, and the lines are great. It really just demonstrates that people were waiting for it, and so now there's just a lot more offering, and again, it just really shrinks out that other end of the market that we were never that concerned about. The sort of the multinational, national brands that will always do well for their own reason, but we want more people to come over to the other side and demand a fresher, healthier product.
I just love that people are finally catching on. Subway is a genius company and getting people to eat a whole loaf of bread at lunch, and they think that it's okay.
I've always been careful about what I say. They are our neighbor at our 240 Sparks location, but I have to say it was the best thing that ever happened to me in some respects was being right next to them, because it's a great opportunity to draw those people in. Well, I don't have the marketing budget of a company that has 43,000 locations globally, so for the modest 6 that we have now, it's nice to piggyback a bit of their draw.
For sure.
And of course, when people realize the difference, I mean, there's also, I think, with certain fast foods, a nostalgia that people will always revert to.
Yeah.
But what I find 9 out of 10 times is as soon as they've come towards our level, and again, a number of the newer competitors in the city, their level of food product, it's tough to go back. It just again on a daily basis, because a lot of our clients eat with us, multiple times of the week. That you really have to be considerate then of how it is you eat at the end of the day, and we all can't have foot-long subs or double-decker burgers on a daily basis. I'm not running enough to justify it. So.
No, I don't think many people are.
Exactly right.
And delicious food, I gotta say. Me and Nick
we just had
the tuna with some ginger in there. Delicious.
Nice twist, a fresh twist. I like it.
I gotta say.
The ginger really lightens up the tuna. Usually,
it does.
a tuna melt, you think still a bit heavier. It's usually what I do for myself on the weekends, but with the ginger, just gets that nice little spring. Spring meaning like the spring that we haven't seen yet.
All right, well, that's a little different of an episode because we usually start off and get to know you a bit more. So we'll get into that right now. I wanted to talk about the Gatineau right away because that is important.
Thanks.
But you're born in Ottawa. You've traveled around. What made you come back to Ottawa at the end of the day?
Well, I think at the end of the day, it really was not to get too into it, but family. I mean, my roots are here, and I've got 2 kids and another one that's ready to pop out any day now.
Congratulations!
So, thanks very much. Just keep me up at night. But that said, our relationship with my folks is fabulous, and my wife's folks and the kids. So, I mean, we just wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And of course, Ottawa. I'm proud to be from the city, despite harder winters and humid summers. We all get through it, and it's really exciting now to see so many people putting an effort into making it really what it should be as the nation's capital. So that was easy. I think there's a lot of real quality of life aspects that Ottawa offers to us that made us stay.
We're very lucky. Now you're seeing the transition from before you came back here when you didn't have any children to now having children, so you're seeing Ottawa in a different light.
Exactly.
And
I think the light that's usually promoted the most as well.
Absolutely.
Perhaps why I spent some of my 20s elsewhere, but just, getting out there, checking it out.
But do you think if you, in your 20s, if you're here now, you would have possibly stayed here a little more?
There's just so much more going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think a lot of it has to do with different interconnectivities within media. So again, without going on crazy tangents, I mean, the city, the community is a lot more vocal. People know what's going on. Because it was never to suggest that things weren't happening in Ottawa. It's just, it was, if it wasn't right in your face, it was sort of hard to figure
up
it
the
out.
Express magazine.
Where's the Express now? But I mean, now it's you guys, right? It's
a lot of great coaches. But sorry, what were you going to?
I was just going to say, so having kids, there's got to be a lot of fun activities that you guys like to do in Ottawa. Is there anything in particular? I know we were talking a little bit earlier about ski hills around the areas and whatnot.
For me, it's skiing, for sure. I grew up with Camp Fortune, and I probably the first time left the city really just to get bigger mountain skiing in. So it's having the kids makes Fortune seem so much more relevant again.
Yes.
You kind of grow out of it, but now it's amazing. I put the skis on a few times a week as well, especially after a quick fresh snowfall. And the Chelsea pub, their Reno is phenomenal. I've got to say, oh my God, honestly, one of the best, world-class après. For something that's 15 to 20 minute drive from my house, to have the kids on the slopes all weekend, and then for us, and the kids love it. I mean, 6 and 4.
It's priced well there too.
Priced well.
Are they just on the Bunny
friendly.
Hill where it's about $5 to go down?
No. It's back in Chelsea. You got to leave. You got to leave Fortune, but it's just on the
I'm
ride
talking
back.
about the hill that they use.
No. Both kids are on Skyline now. Yeah.
Okay.
We're rocking
Nice.
it. It's good.
What time do you start going to the bigger hills then?
Well, I mean, pretty
age?
much now. I mean, my son's 6, so he's right.
6,
Yeah,
okay.
the 4-year-old we just have sort of integrating from the valley over to Skyline right now. But yeah, I mean, kids are they bounce.
Yeah, it's a great place to
there's
learn.
not a big fall, so yeah, it's a fantastic mountain. And that said, especially for their age range, there's so much terrain that they can cover over for the next 10 years that it's great. So that's what we've been spending our winter doing.
You made it out on the canal much this winter?
Not as a result of the skiing and the colder temperatures. I feel really bad about that. But I know that for Winchell's sake, it was a great year for them.
Yeah,
it was
I think,
just circumstantial for
the
us.
amount of days that it was open, I think it was almost tripled what it was last year, or what?
16 days more.
16 days more so far?
Yeah.
So
It's closed now, though.
Is it? It's not going to open even though it's minus 30-something right now.
See, that's too bad. But that's out of the budget.
That's NTC. That's NTC. They take it down because once the temperatures start flip-flopping like this now, they start hesitating. And I went skating on the weekend, and the ice was just horrid. So
Really?
Well, like you said, they run
once you
out of
start
money,
getting-
I think, to maintain it anymore. Snow
That's
removal and
exactly
whatnot.
right. That's exactly right.
That's
so they
too
start
bad.
preparing. Any other restaurants or places you like going when you're not with your baby here at lunch?
Yeah, well, with the just because things are so hectic, and with the kids, we eat locally at Westboro a lot. Ahara's on Churchill is the
Oh yeah,
really
right on
the
the corner of Churchill.
I mean,
and
there's
Parliament.
Haveli's is great as well, but for something that's really local and Indian, I mean, of course, Indian Express. There's a lot of favorites, but my wife and I lived in the subcontinent for a while together, so we searched it out. Ahara's is amazing, and we're blessed that it's really just a few blocks away from the
I
house.
feel bad. I used to live on Broadview, not too far, and I never went and ate there.
Unbelievable. And then Salonta, because I'd spent some time in Sri Lanka as well, so to get the seaweed sambal, I mean, it's pretty spicy. My wife will not let me eat in the restaurant. I have to take it home because I sweat so much. But it is Salonta's phenomenal. So yeah, and then the wife, I said the wife, myself, my friends, we all have vested interest in supply and demand. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
that gets
Steve at Murray Street. I mean, we try to get around. There's so many new things happening. Ivan at Union 613. I mean, it's hard to stop listing them. If I can get out, we'll do it. Obviously, the Elmdale Tavern too is just such a cool new experience for the city.
I was there last night, actually.
Were you? Good for
Yeah.
you. Yeah. So.
And I was at Union yesterday.
So there you go.
It worked out well.
Well, I mean, it's pretty easy to peg a short list in the city now, and I think it resonates with a lot of people. But that's the beauty of it. I mean,
love it.
and there's always space for more. I know there's a whole new list of things coming up for the new year. But what I love is that a lot of these guys are old servers from when I was a kid in Ottawa too. That are Ivan especially I worked with when I was younger. So it's nice to see him doing so well now at Union. It's really cool.
What spots did you used to work at?
The Village Cafe and the Black Tomato, briefly in both instances, because I spent most of my. This was sort of in between coming back through Ottawa, but I had a good time working here in the city as well. Got to know the food industry well.
And you know this city well, so it's awesome having you on.
Thanks.
But that's the first half is already done. We're going to listen to one more song from Harea Band, and then we're going to listen to Don and Jen. It just might be Don talking about the recap of last night's Recipes to Riches. So he's going to explain some of the things that went on behind the scenes and give his views on last night's CBC show. And we're also going to get a preview of the Cardamom and Cloves Spice Shop that was just opened up recently. Cool. So that's great stuff. So we'll be right back after Harea Band and Don and Jen Chow from Foodie Prince, and we'll be right back with Tim Van Dyke. Thank you. All right, so that was Room for You from the Harea.
I've been thinking about the future too much. Gotta settle down my worried mind. If patience is a virtue, then it must be the selling kind. But I can't wait for love to consume me. Went up to Cupid and said, excuse me, my bed's still pretty roomy. Yeah, and there's room for you. Want a girl with blonde hair and blue eyes who doesn't have a disguise. Want a girl to give kisses to me, and hey, a nice round booty wouldn't hurt either.
All right, thanks, Nick. For this week's segment of Foodie Prince on Lunch Out Loud, we're actually going to cover two things. The first of which is a television show that aired last night on CBC National Television, in which you might have seen me being interviewed, running around in a kitchen, and making something for a bunch of judges. I'm very grateful for the coverage over the past week of me on this show, Alan Neal and by Metro Ottawa. I was on Recipes to Riches. It wasn't my finest hour. It was filmed in the summertime, and I've been dreading its airing between then and now. I was actually worried about how the footage would be cut together and how it would be portrayed. I still haven't seen the episode, but it is. I've heard so many great things from Twitter and from Facebook. I'm incredibly grateful for the support and the tweets and the updates. There's such wonderful support in the city for food, and some of it translated into encouraging me, and it means a lot. That said, one of the things I tripped up on in the show was spices. When it comes to spices, I generally buy whole and I grind as I need them. The essential oils, the substances that give spices their characteristic flavor, they're volatile, and the older a spice is, especially if it's ground, the less flavorful it will be and the less it will impart those flavors to the food that you make with them. So it is incredibly important that when you buy spices, you know how old they are, how they were packaged, from whence they came, how they traveled. All of these things factor in the quality of the spice that you buy. And in the past, what I've done is I've bought from many, many places. I've gone to ethnic food stores, Chinese food stores, Middle Eastern food stores. I've gone as far as Kensington Market in Toronto looking for things like organic juniper. And that's something that a friend of mine aimed to solve by opening Cardamom and Cloves at 440 Preston Street in Little Italy. My friend Jody, she decided to launch this venture because Ottawa doesn't have a dedicated spice shop. And if you've ever been to a spice shop in a larger city or overseas, you'll know when you walk in, you'll see all the spices. They'll be very well displayed. There's a lot of information available. And best of all, you can get expertise. The shop owner knows his or her spices. The shop owner knows all the things that you need to know about fresh spices to buy quality spices. And that's what Jody will provide. And she does provide this expertise. And she's a wonderful lady. She's very knowledgeable. And she's a good cook. So if ever you need a spice for pepping up one of your dishes, ask her. If you ever need to replicate a dish with a flavor that you just can't pinpoint, ask her. If you need to replace a flavor that you don't like in a recipe, ask her. In her shop, presently, she has over 100 spices available. She has 4 paprikas, one of which I use to make the Scotch egg for El Anil, the smoked paprika. Paprika and cayenne form the color and flavor base of chorizo, and it was a chorizo flavor I was going for that Scotch egg. She has 8 peppercorns, one of which is long pepper. Long pepper is very important in Ethiopian food. Chilies, she has 15 chilies available, and there's probably more available now. Chilies are very important to Mexican cuisine. If you cook Mexican, you'll know the sheer variety. The chili is very celebrated, and it's important if you're going to make authentic to local Mexican food to use the right chilies. What surprised me about Cardamom Cloves chili offer, she also offers chili threads. Chili threads are very popular on dishes as garnishes if you go to big restaurants in the city, at least. She has 4 cinnamons available, including the real Ceylon cinnamon. The cinnamon that we're used to is actually cassia. It's a strong, pungent flavor. Real cinnamon is actually fruity, which is something that Jody can explain to you a lot better than I can. That said, go to her store. If you want to learn more about Jody and her shop, you can go on to a beauty blog, a fashion beauty blog called BernardiBeautyBlog.com. One word, BernardiBeautyBlog.com. The blog is actually founded by Connie Bernardi, who you may recognize from her work with CTV and Magic 100. She got her start at the Bear, and she's very knowledgeable about Canadian music, and she decided to put together this blog, and she's been interviewing personalities in the city and asking them about their sense of style. In this case, she asked about Jody's sense of style, both food and fashion.
All right, so that was Room for You from the Harea Band, and we're right back with Tim Van Dyke. And one of my favorite aspects of Creative Mornings, your talk was telling how you got this location on Bank Street, because it's a kind of beat out the major corporation story, and if you know me, that's one of my loves in life.
We're all about beating the man down.
Yeah, well, I mean, really, it was just more a case of you have to pitch it. I mean, what's interesting about us being where we're sitting right now in Telus House was.
And again, the address real quick for people.
Just 121 Bank and Slater. Again, Telus House as the major reference point.
Yeah.
They've got the large corporate branding on top, which we're pleased to associate with. And of course, that was part of the trick, was making sure that we were brand compatible. But of course, it's always a bit of an effort when you don't have a physical location or much of a product to pitch. So it was from someone who doesn't necessarily have any sort of trained experience in selling a brand. It was a fun couple of boardroom encounters where we convinced them that we were wanting to offer a product to downtown Ottawa. We had our logo and a brand concept in place. And both between them and the developer, who I'll mention as Broccolini, because I think they've been a great value add amongst our other illustrious developers in the city. It's just they've helped sort of bring in that Montreal influence, push the envelope a little bit on progressive designs and concepts. This, of course, is being a lead building. It was one of the first at the time. Another sort of hurdle for me coming at it all fresh to build lead in our first actual fit up. But yeah, we had a number of meetings, a number of encounters, really over a long period of time. And when we talk about the 6 years, there was a 2-year lead time to actually get the physical space. So
2-year lead time to get.
There was a year of closed doors, so more of a year with Broccolini and Telus, then just making sure that the deal works. So, I mean, and I'll always say we're lucky because realistically, most especially downtown Ottawa, because it's a finite amount of commercial real estate, they tend to hold out for national, multinational brands. They've got the bigger covenant, and it's just a dollars and cents game at the end. But they took a real risk on us, and we've been happy ever since.
And you, out of the back, you used to run your kitchen out of there. Now your kitchen's out at Le Breton.
Yeah, I was able to buy an old restaurant commercial kitchen on Le Breton Street, which that back in 2010. So that now serves as the hub, the food central for the purposes of lunch. We do everything from there and feed it out to our respective locations. We use the existing kitchen here now as our bakery.
Yeah, that's why it smells delicious in here.
Absolutely.
Edible air is what we like to refer to.
What are some other steps that you had to go through? I mean, obviously you said you worked in the restaurant business. Serving is owning your own spot something that was always in your sights? And if so, what were some of the steps that you had to take? I mean, you mentioned obviously you have to have a business plan in place. Did you have any formal education or anything, or?
Not if history and philosophy counts, no.
Okay.
So, I think, I had managed in retail quite a bit.
Okay.
I'd managed in the food service industry quite a bit. I think, obviously, and what lunch represents, and having grown up in a retail family as well, is just that perfect marriage of food and retail in my mind, because we have a product that's ready to go. The visual aspect of us merchandising it in our fridges is critical. So I mean those are just raw skills that have amassed over the years. I think is really just what came into it. Plus travel and having seen other things. I mean the entire concept comes from the UK. My inspiration was Pret a Manger, having lived in London for a while. So that helped. And then, I hate to say it, the step 2 is find the money.
Yeah,
so
that's always the hard step for everybody.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. So, that was it.
And so this was your first location here on Bank.
Yep.
How many are you up to now?
We have 4 locations that represent this sort of bricks and mortar mold. And then the kitchen, which we serve out of as well and is open to the public, would make it 5. And then our illustrious food truck, the lunch truck, because it operates in some capacities as an extension of our retail experience, I like to call it 6, maybe 5.5. But
that's good.
Yeah. So we're at 6. We've got another kiosk location opening up in a Public Works building on Sussex for the end of April this year.
Oh, wow.
And,
Excellent.
So it'll be, we're excited. So
And sorry, what are the addresses of some of the other locations, just so some of our listeners can
One
get out there?
is at Metcalfe and Slater,
Okay.
326 meters as the crow flies from here. 240 Sparks, the Spark Street, Sparks or Queen, where Holt Renfrew currently is. We're in the food court there. 60 Le Breton Street, where the kitchen's located. Of course, 121. We're in Portage 3 in Gatineau now, and the truck is normally parked between Albert and Lyon, and soon to be on
Is it
Sussex.
one right now?
Pardon me?
Is the truck open right now?
Not as we speak, but we've had it going this winter. We had it up at Nackertalk, the ski
That's
club.
right. You put the skis on.
Okay.
We put on that little put the skis on the truck. We pushed her right in. But no,
What was the response on that?
Phenomenal. It was great. We were there to feed the Eastern Canadian National Championships right before the Olympic Games, and so a lot of athletes. I mean, obviously our food resonates well with them, so it was really well received and great use over the winter months.
Oh, that's
And
great.
one of the major things that people love about lunch is your lunch suppliers right on every one of the boards are from local companies. So when they're buying from you, though it might be a little bit more expensive than a sandwich from Tim Hortons, you are helping out so many more people in this area.
Yeah,
And giving
let's-
so much
what are
back
some of
to
the suppliers that you got here?
Well, we do
To
our
the
best.
community, which is amazing.
Ferme de Voltigel and seed sausage are some of our bigger ones. We've used Buttersky Fly before. We've used Baldersons. I mean, the range stretches out.
Yeah, I see Wales going on the list there.
We've
too
used them for our
fish.
fish supply on the catering side. So I mean, we
These
really
awesome
try to.
cookies from Sobel's.
Isabel's.
Yeah, they look great.
Isabel's. Sorry.
Isabel's. No, it's perfect. Isabel's. Others that we've used. I mean, we try anywhere we can. We do. I mean, it's not entirely easy over the winter months.
Yeah.
So we haven't found a local avocado supplier yet. But
Yeah, unfortunately
it's,
not.
on all fronts, we're
And we need
doing our
potato
best.
chips. I'm seeing potato chips here. We need a local potato chip manufacturer.
Well, actually, you know what we're going to be doing on the truck this year? We're going to be making our own.
Well, there you go. Problem solved.
That's what I was going to ask. Any new things on the truck this year?
The truck, I think.
Any new ideas?
Well, it's interesting to say new ideas. What the truck is really going to do is just foster those ideas. So, I mean, in the same way that we've seen other trucks do well, I mean, not to steal from anyone, we're just going to run a daily special out of the truck. This street meat concept, you can't really get away from, and we can't facilitate it the same way we do our retail locations. So we'll run a daily feature, and that feature is going to include our homemade potato chips, and or a salad as a good side option.
And that's great because you have a lot of chefs. A lot of chefs learn from you because you have the experience. So that just gives them an outpost to test their creations and know that when they come work for you, they're going to be able to use their creativity and use a lot of other skills. So you're breeding the next generation as well.
I like, we like to think so. We're really going to try to work with Algonquin College's culinary program this year to get some fresh blood in. And of course, again, using the truck as a place to feature new product allows us to then hone that product into our retail experiences, into our catering experiences. It's just a good platform for us.
And what I love about you as well, one of the many things, you're involved in so many charities. You help out with so many festivals. I remember I was volunteer at the Arboretum Festival last year.
Yeah, Arboretum's super cool.
Absolutely. Everyone loved the meal. The meals at festivals, sometimes they're shabby, whatever. When we all went back there for a break and we saw what was coming from lunch, we were blown away.
That's great to hear, Nick. Because unfortunately, it was the one weekend I was away this summer.
Really?
August is a tough month. It's quiet, so I took it up. And I didn't, anyway, the timing was off. So I'm really looking forward to, again, being a part of Arboretum this year and being at the actual event because I know it's one of Ottawa's good ones.
It's amazing. I can't wait for this year.
But Dragon Boat Festival, I got a pitch
Boat,
too, is a huge one for us. So it will be a sponsor again this year, and we're really looking forward to that. Plus a whole slew of others.
That's if winter ever ends here.
And what about Bon Appetit again?
Bon Appetit, for sure. Bon Appetit was a lot of fun.
May 6th this year? Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
How was it last year?
Well, that was the first time we had the truck going. I don't know how much time I have because there's a great story around it. The truck bombed out on us on Heron Road, right in front of that security building in the post office.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you can imagine the looks on the commissionaires and security staff that came flanking us from all sides with this big waft of smoke coming out. So we were a little late, but we made it, and I think the food was super well received. But years off my life, I've got to say. Yeah.
So quickly, any differences, because you did take the concept from England, any sandwiches that you tried from England that were not grasped in Ottawa that
our roast beef right off the get-go. And I mean, I stayed away from the word pickle, which is a shame. But I mean, there's obviously going to be huge idiosyncrasies between the two. I mean, the biggest hurdle is actually just having a pre-made product ready for people. That's
fresh,
because
made in the morning.
most people, from a North American perspective, really want it made in front of them. And we've had to, I think that was the toughest slog in the first couple of years, just convincing people that, listen, we just made it for you.
Well, and I think that's important that you mentioned that too. Like Nick was telling me when we first walked in that you'll never find something that's a day old. It's all made in the morning. Once it's out, it's out.
The packaging model dictates it because there's no seal. It closes, but it would naturally stale. So we pride ourselves in that. It's why our fridges are empty at this time of day.
That's
it's just
awesome.
We got about 3 sandwiches left up there.
3 sandwiches, so come out.
Come and get them.
Yeah.
So quickly, we're almost done. Any other changes we can expect for next year from Lunch? You have the catering, so anybody having major parties or at your work or anything, call Lunch.
Yeah, well, that's what we do. Well, mostly. Thanks for asking. But we do have these new locations rolling out with Public Works. They're not open to the public. That's the only interesting thing about them. There'll be internal services within these buildings. So we're putting a lot of effort on that for 2014. And of course, with Gatineau just having open, we'd really just like to make sure that we get to that this level is maintained the way we have for the last 6 years.
And I just remembered something that you're talking about during Creative Mornings about the healthiness, and you're part of. Yeah.
Thanks for asking. Yeah, no, we're the pilot for Ottawa City's the Ottawa Public Health's voluntary food nutrient labeling program, which is huge for us. I'm on the technical team with the city as well, and we're probably a month, maybe two out of having a full nutritional accounts on every product that we sell, right on the packaging itself, fantastic. And a book available plus online. So our soups, all our baked goods, literally everything that we make. You'll be able to discern your sodium count, your caloric count. You
love transparency, don't you?
I think it's what distinguishes us from our competitors at the end of the day. We're not pulling any tricks here. We're just trying to get an honest product out.
And these days, people want to know what they're putting in their mouth, that's for sure.
No reason not to. I mean, we're not going to suggest we're saints. I mean, some of our product are Friday specials. Others are what you want to eat 3 or 4 times of the week. But that's just the reality of life.
Yeah.
Good, honest, fresh products. It allows you to sleep at night knowing you're doing absolutely great work here, supporting people, supporting local. That's why you're a perfect guest on a show.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Tim.
It's really nice you guys to have me. I appreciate it.
Anything else you want to add before?
No, just thanks to you guys for doing such a great job. I've been going through your list of talkers. I was really flattered that you'd invited me. It's as you suggested before we chatted. Ottawa's got a lot going on, so it's really great to put that out there so that more people understand that it's still Ottawa people doing it. When we first opened with a slightly smarter branding concept, a lot of people thought we were from
that's it.
somewhere else. Yeah. I mean, we're not. We're just from Ottawa, which is what you guys are doing a great job of reinforcing. So
that's what we want. Thanks so much.
And thank you for not suing us.
Oh, yeah. I do own. We do have a trademark on lunch in Canada.
I do have a trademark on lunch, but we didn't ask permission.
As associative terms, though. So lunch out loud. I don't think it's under the banner. Don't try the old lunchbox.
Well, thank you so much. Good stuff. Any events that you're up to this weekend?
This weekend? No, my wife's about to give. Oh, I'm going to the Arcade Fire Show tomorrow night.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You got 4 seats for that?
Buddy's box. Pretty smitten about that one. Yeah. No, the good life. I mean, I shouldn't have said that.
Open a restaurant now, you're going to box.
Certainly not my box, but yeah.
Certainly not your box.
Well, if you're looking to take the kids out at Camp Fortune, there's actually going to be a pretty big snowboard competition sponsored by Red Bull.
Roll the dice.
I saw that. And our buddy Sasha Leclerc will be DJing there as well.
Really?
We'll be up there. Is that Saturday and Sunday?
Saturday from 12 to 4.
Yeah, we're there.
It's going to be a different concept too. I guess they're going to have some die, and they'll have grabs on one dice and then and then spins on the other one. No spins over 720. So kind of an old school feel to it. It should be a pretty interesting competition.
What age group is that for?
I'm assuming open to all ages.
So I'm worried I'm going to convert my kids from skiers to snowboarders, but we'll give them a go.
It will happen. So tonight there's a great band, Inlet Sounds, playing from Toronto. They're one of my favorite bands. They're playing at Zaphod, $8. I love it. At the Hub tonight there's a documentary on City the Fun Forgot. It's about Ottawa. So that's sold out, but I'd love to see that documentary because that's everything we represent. And so I love that. The Ottawa Adventure Show is this weekend. So
the Ernest and Young Center there?
The EY Center, remember?
The EY Center.
You corrected me on that one last time. Yeah. Urban Craft is going on this weekend on Saturday at the Glebe Community Center from 10 to 3 p.m. So 50 local vendors. Anti-Loose Treats will be there, but a lot of local crafts. Awesome stuff there. That's a lot of fun. What do you got?
That was pretty much it. The snowboard thing on Saturday, and
we got board games in Bytown at the Clock Tower. So it's a burlesque edition. So there's going to be burlesque dancing, and then they'll put the clothes back on and play board games with you. So that's an awesome concept. That'll be a lot of fun. And Sasha's playing at Grills at Babylon, so that'll be a lot of fun there. But thank you so much for having us here. It was a pleasure. Thank you for the sandwich.
Yeah,
awesome
delicious
stuff.
Great to have you guys. I mean, again, thank you. It's perfect.
Keep supporting local, everyone.
Yep.
And one last song from Harea Band. It is Where You Are. So check them out on Bandcamp and Facebook at the Harea Band and at Harea Band. And have a great weekend, everyone.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Where is my inspiration? Can't be found, got no motivation. Can't make a sound. Moon songs, love songs, I've been singing too long. Singing too long. There's nothing I could say or do to make you feel the way that I do. Not a place that's ever too far to keep me from where you are. I wanna be where you are. There's nothing I could say or do to make you feel the way that I do. Not a place that's ever too far to keep me from where you are. I wanna be where you are. Toxins are seeping through his skin. Your ink is run dry. Now guess what? Guess what? You've sinned. Indirectly you killed him. Couldn't leave him alone. Now you'll fly, fly, fly till your feet touch on down home. Feet touch on down home. There's nothing I can say or do to make you feel the way that I do. Not a place that's ever too far to keep me from where you are. I wanna be where you are. There's nothing I can say or do to make you feel the way that I do. Not a place that's ever too far